Hello everyone, I'm Daz. This week's discussion is on Morgellons disease. Morgellons disease is a skin condition characterized by the presence of multicolored filaments that lie under, are embedded in, or project from the skin. It is an intensely painful condition, which currently has no real treatment options. Additionally, the disease is characterized by a struggle to find doctors or other healthcare providers who believe the patient is truly suffering from some sort of parasitic disease. It is estimated that approximately 100,000, excluding Eastern countries, aquatic and terrestrial animals suffer from this disease, and there are several alleged transmissions. Contact with vegetal fibers, soil, animals, skin, to skin contact, and genetic transmission. Studies have indicated that there's no sexual transmission, and furthermore, subjects with pre-existing Borrelia bacteria infections causing Lyme disease are more likely to present Morgellons symptoms. Some history behind Morgellons disease comes from biologist Mary Leto, who coined the term in 2002 when she continued to find fibers in the skins of her persistently itchy son, who had previously been diagnosed with scabies. She drew her inspiration from a description of a familiar condition by physician Sir Thomas Browne in the 1600s. In 1674, in a monograph entitled Letter to a Friend, Sir Thomas Browne, he coined the term Morgellons when he writes of a disorder afflicting children as the endemial distemper of children in Languedoc called the Morgellons, wherein they critically break out with harsh hairs on their backs. After significant news coverage about Morgellons in 2002, the prevalence of the disease was dramatically increased. Some signs and symptoms of Morgellons are skin rashes or sores that can cause intense itching, crawling sensations on and under the skin, often compared to insects moving, stinging, or biting, fiber threads of black, stringy material in and on the skin, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, short memory loss, depressed mood. The intense itching and open sores associated with Morgellons disease can severely interfere with a person's quality of life. Because Morgellons is not recognized as an actual disease by the medical community, there's a lot of skepticism surrounding it, and some common attitudes from health professionals with this who are treating those who have the disease are that those who believe that it's an unknown disease. However, they believe that there isn't sufficient evidence to assume that it's caused by an infectious microorganism. And then there are those who feel that Morgellons is more of a psychosis or a symptom of a mental illness. And then some explanations that people often give for where this comes from are that it's a delusional parasitosis, a condition in which an individual has a feeling of live bugs crawling on their body in the absence of any real organisms. According to the Morgellons Research Foundation, 31% of registered Morgellons patients have been diagnosed with delusional parasitosis. Multiple studies report a possible link between Morgellons and infection with Borrelia spirochetes, which is another condition that some associate with Morgellons, which these results would contradict the CDC's conclusion about it not being caused by an infection of parasites. And a more common alternative explanation is that Morgellons is a result of chemtrail infections. Chemtrail activists collected evidence that the chemtrail spray contains not only germs, but conductive materials such as blood cells, carbon powder, sedatives, nanoparticles, crystalline substances, alumina particulates, barium powders, and a kind of polyethylene silicone fiber. The chemtrail fibers are a kind of infant pre-Morgellons fiber. The Morgellons fiber are more developed, but the fibers are related to the type of nanotechnology that assemble nanowires. So if someone is breathing in chemtrails, essentially it is thought by those who believe it's caused by chemtrails that essentially being infected with that disease, and this is why it manifests in some in that way. Others have seen this as a sort of biological or entomological weapon or a cause from biopesticides. Those with that belief believe it creates a cytokine reaction, making the human body a host of foreign engineered insects, worms, and plants, which requires genetic changes within the body. The introduction of foreign genes cause the immune system to react, thus the victim may experience symptoms as if they were receiving a gene therapy. Using synthetic pesticides with biopesticides in combination are leading to an unrecognized threat in nature and mankind, still remaining unknown or neglected by bioengineers, have created these to control the overpopulation of insects in a profitable way. So those are just some of the common ideas around Morgellons and sort of a broad overview of what it is. And there are many who feel that they have this disease. What's fascinating about Morgellons is it seems like something you'd read in a science fiction novel or some sort of engineered disease that could be a form of population control or target certain populations or pockets of society. And I don't have any doubts that such a disease could exist. I do think that there is the possibility that it could be something else. And something I thought about, and I'd like to know you guys' thoughts on it, are, do you think any of these symptoms at all sound supernatural in nature or paranormal? A lot of people will go straight to the parasitosis delusions, and that could be a thing, but I also know that many people who are demonized will claim to see insects and others forms of things crawling around on them. I like to know everyone's thoughts on Morgellons, and what do you think is the cause of it? Do you believe this disease actually exists? And if you do believe it exists, what do you think the cause of it is? I hope that you enjoyed this week's topic of discussion. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care and God bless.